Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
Friday again.
It's a high-energy podcast today.
Week
I'm going to force it.
Over. Yeah, I got to force it. I'm fucking tired. But anyway, we've got GENOCYBER.
The rest of it. Yep.
Each episode more ridiculous than the last.
Yeah, that's really two OVAs that they split into 4 episodes for some reason. But
yeah, it's pretty wild. Anyway, we'll get into that. I caught up on everything except Am-Aim. Am-Aim's like the bastard stepchild.
You let it build up, then you'll be very happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost done, so. But everything else I caught up on, so we'll go through the episodes. I remember all the characters' names now.
Do you?
No, I'm not swearing to it. But the ones I forgot last week, I got.
I'll hold you to it.
And then question of the week.
Yep.
That should be a fun one. And as usual, the news.
Yeah, man. The news. All right, there's all kinds of interesting news this week. I'm the first bit to get this one out of the way because I think this is the biggest news of the week. Berserk is going to continue.
It's back, baby.
Miura's assistants are going to work on it, which, I mean, if anybody knows anything about how manga works, they do a lot of the lifting. Doesn't mean Miura's lack of, being alive anymore. R.I.P. Won't hurt. It still will. And Koji Mori, his best friend in the world, supposedly, which I believe.
I don't know why they'd lie about it.
Right. Allegedly knows everything between now and the ending, knows the ending, good to go. So,
sounds fantastic.
Sounds like we're actually going to get Berserk. And unfortunately, I don't know that we would have ever gotten the end of Berserk if Miura was still alive. Which is sad, but it's
I
just
bet
the way
Berserk gets finished and Hunter x Hunter does not.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's coming back.
I know. We were
for
talking
like
about
a chapter,
last week. That's
maybe
what I'm saying.
2. We'll see. We'll see.
He's got a chapter or 2 in him before he has to take another hiatus.
So volume 41's coming out here soon, and that's the last volume that Miura did. I don't know how much was maybe finished up by his assistants or whatever, and then it'll start serializing.
As long as all the basic beats are there that he was gonna do, I'm super happy.
I'm just interested to read it. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad, right?
Bad.
We'll see. No, I'm interested. I'm highly interested. So, yeah, once it's all out, I'm in. I'll buy the box set. I'll read it.
It doesn't seem like they'd take a wild turn that he didn't tell them to. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, but he could have had ideas in mind that were bad. So, but we'll see.
It's true.
We shall see. Because I think everybody assumes it's a revenge story, but it's not really a revenge story. I mean, it is, but it isn't. There's some other stuff going on there.
It doesn't have to go there. You know what I mean?
So we'll see. That's the kind of thing where there's always going to be at least a not insignificant cadre of people that will be very unhappy with the ending.
I have no preconceived notions of the end. I was kind of along for the ride.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
There's no real way I want it to end.
It's a super dark fantasy, so you don't necessarily expect it to end well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It doesn't have that vibe where everybody's going to be happy at the end. You know what I mean?
No. It'll all end well for Casca. Oh, wait, no. No, it will not. It already hasn't. All right, moving on. Talking about dark anime and dark manga. What the hell is it? Junji Ito's Maniac. So it's going to be 20 stories getting adapted. This is going to be on Netflix. I'm interested. I mean, the writing will be good because it's freaking
that's what you do.
Junji Ito, and his stuff's really cool. And it lends itself well to this kind of anthology short story kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's going to have stories from Hanging Balloons, Soichi, and Tomy. Yeah. Tomy, however you pronounce it. Yeah, I'm in. I mean, I own most of the manga. I've read it here and there. It's one of those things I bust out near Halloween and just read random stories because it's so cool.
They're really good.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's funny that they've canceled, Netflix has canceled damn near every animation out there, but this one's still rolling, so.
That's so weird that they would cancel stuff that got really good ratings.
You would keep
I know it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, but animation's so much cheaper than live action. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That live action probably costs $1.50. So Who knows?
It looked like it. It looked like art school kids,
it was pretty
like
bad.
film school kids, like slapped it together.
So yeah, Junji Ito, Maniac.
Actually,
Definitely
no,
check that shit out.
I actually think Italian Spider-Man was like produced like better than that.
Don't get me going on Time Spider-Man. It's the best thing ever.
It really is.
Yeah. So check this out when it comes out. I know I'll be checking it out, and it could very easily become one of those favorite things to add for a Halloween watch.
Oh hell yeah!
Because he's just got some crazy shit going on.
He really does.
Love me some Junji Ito. All right. Speaking of Netflix, not in a bad way.
Are we always speaking of Netflix?
Yeah, I know they're doing
They're
a lot
in the
of weird
news
stuff
every time.
So, yeah, the One Piece live action series. So there's some behind the scenes footage now, which is it's gonna look wacky as hell. I don't know how you can make this work, even if it's perfect.
But how will he stretch?
Well, once again, they have released some more cast members, and the cast members have their pronouns next to their names, so that's not a good sign.
Harumph.
That's not a good sign. These characters are characters that I just don't. I know Mihawk. I know Chef Zeph. I know Captain Morgan. I don't. Some of these characters I don't even know who they are. One Piece is very, very long, and there's a lot of characters. They're really down to like secondary characters at this point. Besides Mihawk, Mihawk's kind of important. Once again, they are nailing the look. Like every single casting I've seen, they're nailing the look.
Mm-hmm.
Like if nothing else, they have nailed the look. They have paid attention. So we will
at least
see.
somebody gives a shit. Maybe,
We'll see, but
bit.
I don't know.
A little bit of shit giving.
I imagine that my only bitch about Luffy is the guy looks too old. Like Luffy needs to look like a child, but
Yeah. I don't know.
everything else looks all right. I mean, we'll see. I have no hope for it to be any good. But if it somehow is, I will be fascinated. So regardless, there's more stuff out there. Go check it out. Like I said, the casting has been spot on. The other stuff surrounding it, like the pronouns next to names, are a little scary. It tells me that the woke part of Netflix is touching it, which is not a good sign.
Did they all just get fired?
They probably did, but
That's what I read.
I don't know.
They went in and cleaned house.
What the fuck do I care with these random people? Whatever. Pronouns are dumb.
Only if my pronoun could be God King / Emperor.
Your pronoun can be peace and of shit. That's it.
Aw.
That's all you get. Because that's what you get for forcing people to use your pronouns, even though you would never use them in someone's presence pretty much ever.
That's why I
limited circumstances.
That's why I don't care, because I don't say people.
I'm not writing a book about you. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
I'm either going to call you by your name or I'm going to be like, hey, asshole.
Anyway. Moving on. So, mini consoles, all the rage a couple years ago, kind of faded into obscurity because Nintendo's not making them anymore.
Oh, they're pretty damn fun, though.
Pretty cool, right? Even though, yeah, I know all you people out there. Oh, just make a Raspberry Pi. Yes, I know.
We did make a Raspberry Pi, but I wanted the Nintendo one anyway, so
That's right.
fuck off.
That's right. So Sega's doing another Mega Drive / Genesis Mini. Not sure if it's going to be a worldwide release at this point. I would imagine it would be if they make it, but they got a games list out. It's going to be 50 games, I think.
That sounds fun.
50 or more games. And it actually has some Sega CD titles too, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty awesome.
Remember Doom came out on the Sega CD back in the day. So yeah.
I'm kind of stoked on it because I did not personally have a Sega back in the day.
I didn't either.
I had friends that did.
I
said
never bought
played
the others
games a little bit.
Yeah, I never bought the other Sega Mini. It's probably available somewhere. I'd imagine it shouldn't be that expensive because I don't think it was as limited as like the Nintendo
Did the
ones.
TurboGrafx 16 ever come out?
I don't know.
I don't know if it ever came out over here because
I
man,
don't
that's
know.
the one I wanted.
That PlayStation one came out. It was
I want
terrible.
Some Bonk. I want some Splatterhouse.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh hell yeah!
I want those 18 different versions of fighting games. Like,
Yeah.
I want some Metal Slug. I don't know. I want all the good shit. And I want to pay $200 a game for it, like you had to back in the day for a Neo Geo game.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh no, TurboGrafx 16. It's not Neo Geo. Whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Both of those blew my mind back in the day.
Yeah.
Because that was like the first 16-bit graphics, and it was just like, ooh, so cartoony.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I remember when Super Nintendo came out, I was like, oh my god. I loved it. Like regular Nintendo I liked, but Super Nintendo I was like, oh my god. It finally looks like bright and colorful.
Yeah.
It looks good. It doesn't look drab and washed out. And,
Exactly. Nah, it really popped.
Still
Burns
have
your
love.
Retinas out.
So anyway, this fall looks like it's gonna be right before Halloween. It's gonna release in Japan. We'll see again if it gets a wider release and what games will be on it. But I would be shocked if they don't. So look forward to it this fall. You buy holiday season.
You buy now.
All right, next up, this is pretty cool. So Universal Studios Hollywood is gonna have a Mario Kart ride.
Oh man, that sounds fun.
Now I'm hoping it's gonna be an actual Mario Kart like.
Yeah, where you can get
track.
crazy go-karts
That would be awesome.
and shit people up.
I think it'll be some sort of hybrid kind of VR type thing because that's what they do for
But I
those
wanna
rides nowadays.
I want to throw actual turtle shells. at
I know,
people.
right? So it could be cool. Unfortunately, it is the Hollywood one and not the Universal Florida one. But
Yeah.
you'd have to drag your ass to the West Coast. But I'm sure if it's successful, it'll probably come to the Florida one as well.
That's what I'm hoping.
So yeah, Super Nintendo World in general sounds really fucking cool, and it definitely looks cool. And the Japanese one looks really goddamn cool. So I don't know. I'm not a huge theme park guy, but like I would go check that shit out.
I gotta adopt some kids just so I can go to theme parks.
All right, and
I refuse to be weird old man by himself.
just do what all those
No.
teachers do.
No.
something about grooming. Oh, that's what it is.
You combing their hair? What?
Right. Anyway, Mario Kart attraction. It's gonna be over here. So you don't have to go all the way to Glorious Nippon. Gonna be cool.
I'm stoked.
Check that shit out.
I'll probably never go to it, but I'm still stoked on it.
I will be happy that it exists.
It brings me joy.
All right.
Joy to my heart.
Moving on. So, I don't know how to feel about this. So, Bandai Namco and SK Global, who I don't know who they are actually going to make a live-action Tiger and Bunny series.
Ah, that could work if they do it correctly.
I was going to say,
Out of all the shit that they could do live action, that is actually
It could work.
reality-based enough where it would probably be fun.
well, it's a lot of slice-of-life stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, that whole last season we have finished.
yeah, I mean,
Slicey
I
of
should tell you
lifey.
something, but yeah. I'm very curious to see what the hell this is going to look like. I don't know that I trust anybody to make anything anymore.
No, definitely not.
But I don't know. If they stick to, I'm with you. It's one of those things that it should be kind of a no-brainer. If they stick to the original, it could be pretty good. I don't know that I need it. I don't know that I care, but it could still work. Maybe more people will watch it. It's got a cool plot, especially stick to the first season style plot.
Yes.
Might drag some more people in the franchise. That'd be cool. I'd love to see more, even if this last season was kind of like, it was all right.
I think like Cape shit is pretty much done, but that could work because it's not really Cape shit. You know what I mean? Is Cape shit in the vein of like The Boys or Invincible
Yes.
or shit like that? You know what I mean?
It's got a different feel.
Yeah. I think that'd work out actually.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I don't.
I have cautious optimism.
Generic superhero stuff I think is out, but stuff that's got a niche like Shazam did well. I think Shazam would still do well.
Oh yeah.
I think Black Adam will do fine. Like
God, I want that to be good, but goddamn, I hate The Rock. I used to love The Rock, but then he made me hate him by
Yeah.
like just being such
he
a
became such a corporate Hollywood shit and
Oh,
such
God.
a China ball sucker.
and he loves himself so much.
More than anybody else could ever love anything.
Yep. Just huffing those farts.
Yeah,
Anyway, he's still a decent actor though, so I won't completely.
So we'll
shit
see.
on him.
We'll see what happens there. Anyway, Tiger and Bunny. I mean, if they're just producing it now, it's gonna be a while. We'll see if it ever even happens, especially with everything getting axed left and right. But
Ha-cha.
fun thing to speculate about, I suppose, especially if you're into the franchise.
Yeah, it definitely has potential. So
All right, so I want all you to calm down,
everybody, calm the fuck down.
sit down. Maybe just relax, But I got to tell you something. It may be the apocalypse. It may be the end of the world.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Eiichiro Oda
Yeah.
for One Piece
I was gonna bring this up if you didn't bring it up because I read about it today.
is taking a month off. Now, one, I'm not sure I believe him.
He's taking a month off to mentally prepare himself for entering the final arc.
Yeah, for the final arc of One Piece, which will last another 5 years probably. So don't get too excited.
The final arc.
Because One Piece is a monster. But he's taking a month off. So I know. Pick yourself up off the floor. Shocking. Like the man who literally never stops.
He's probably gonna be like at home scribbling on napkins.
Oh, he totally is.
I can't stop.
They probably have to like confine him to a freaking like island resort and not allow him anywhere near like anything that could be used to draw. No, stop it. So One Piece will actually be off for a month, and then give the show a chance to catch up. Maybe get less freaking filler, and then it's gonna be time, baby. It's gonna be time. The final arc.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I can't even believe he's even pretending to end it.
No, wow, it's gonna be like 25 years. That's crazy,
Right?
That's crazy. I think that's another thing where I think I would, if they sold like a mega box set of all of it,
You'd
I'd buy
have
it.
to, right? Even if it was like
I'd buy it.
$500, you got to do it.
It's like the perfect thing to give to kids to read. Like, it's just such a goddamn.
It's like
good manga.
everybody's first manga, really. My cousin was reading it for a while because like all her students wouldn't show up.
I mean, it was this. It was Naruto. It was occasionally Dragon Ball. The manga popped off later, so it didn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't
Dragon Ball
much.
was mostly the TV.
This and Naruto, I probably saw the most. Sometimes Bleach. Bleach was pretty big.
Yeah.
You know, stuff that was out over here, but people would buy the manga, especially since, the manga was so far ahead of most of that stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, freaking One Piece is huge. Freaking huge. So, anyway, Oda's taking a month off. Just settle down.
It'll be
Everything
fine.
will be cool.
It'll be fine, everybody.
The world is probably not coming to an end, but it might be. Just fair warning.
The signs are there.
Anyway, we are back to the stupidest news I've seen all week.
Wow.
It's been a roller coaster of
That
stupid
is
news.
a high bar or low bar.
That once again says, just stay away from any convention engaging in stupidity. Just stay far, far, far away.
Oh, yeah, I read about this.
Give good conventions that don't deal with all the bullshit your money. Like, if you're afraid, people out there, if you're afraid of catching any sort of disease whatsoever, I don't care what it is, beer bug, don't matter. For the love of God, don't go to a fucking convention. It's the one place you don't want to go if you're afraid of catching something.
You're 100% going to get sick anyway.
You're going to get it. You're going to get something. You're going to get norovirus. You're going to get the flu. You're going to get con crud of every fucking shape or form.
I'm afraid to go back to conventions because I don't think they're going to be the same, and it bums me out. Not that, like, there weren't things I hated about them that I wanted to change, but I don't think they'll be better.
Yep.
I think they will have changed for the worse.
So, Anime Expo, which had briefly dropped its vaccination test requirements.
Isn't that Cali?
Yeah. Is now requiring them again.
Of course.
Magically. After they got cried at by cry bullies on Twitter. The other thing I'll say is they're still requiring masks regardless, so why the hell would you ever want to go there? Like, I want to be in Los Angeles in July in a mask. That'll be pleasant.
Yep.
Give your money to Anime Matsuri, people.
Except that that's like Texas in August.
Yeah, but at least you don't got to wear a mask.
It's true.
Don't deal with these psychos. Just don't deal with it. It's not worth it. Just let them die. Let other better conventions rise up. It's the only way.
Yeah, we're in the ashes period.
It's the only way.
You have to wait till the phoenix rises.
Because what are you doing? What world are you living in? Have you been anywhere? Have you walked around in society, people? Like, what kind of bubble are you living in?
Everything's fine out here, I swear.
It's okay. It's cool.
Except the gas is like $5
Also,
a gallon. Otherwise.
You ain't going to escape it. Run. It comes all the same. All over your damn face.
Apparently it jumps out from behind bushes. Remember when there was a curfew?
That's right. That's right. It only comes out at night.
It hides behind a bush and jacks you.
And it doesn't, it completely lies in wait when you're eating or drinking. But my God, if between the walk from the entrance to a restaurant to the table, forget about it.
That's where it waits.
Anyway, before we get in too much trouble, because this isn't that type of podcast, the whole point is just avoid these kind of conventions. They're going to be annoying. They're going to be staffed with annoying people. I know some of you love conventions. Hey, I loved them too.
It's going to be 100% like...
You need to
remember how,
seek out the good ones. You
remember how bad like con staff was before. Just like
insufferable.
Giving all these sad, poor people authority.
Insufferable.
Just,
you gave a bunch of weak people authority, and it just was a
and
problem.
Just scream at you about not being in a line, right?
Oh,
blah, blah, blah.
Freaking packs. Like, son, I will pick you up over my shoulders and toss you off the railing if you don't shut up.
Yeah, if I can
Calm down.
If I can bench press you,
chill the fuck out,
Mr.
I think I have authority now. Like, chill the fuck out.
I used to love fucking with them. That was like my favorite thing. I just like purposely stand out of line.
And look,
or I'd like
I always felt bad for like the honest, good people working on staff that just caught endless shit from a bunch of neckbeards. I get that, right? It's usually the people doing badge pickup and that kind of stuff. They'll just have to deal with all the assholes.
Yep.
But like it was always the security people like enforcing like lines and shit when they were just like, it wasn't reasonable. It was not normal behavior. They would just yell at people for the sake of yelling at people. Definitely a lot of bad experiences with them.
Yeah. I don't know if it was a bad experience. I just kind of ignored them. But
Well, yeah, listen,
they were pests.
it didn't hurt my fifis, but like, you know what I mean? It was always like, Jesus Christ, calm the fuck down,
Dial
mister.
it down.
I have authority. Like,
I know you've only been out of the basement for like 2 days, but
anyway, stick to good conventions. Stick to conventions that aren't going to go back and forth on bullshit policies. Stick to conventions that don't muzzle you up
PAX
in the middle of summer.
Remember PAX had metal detectors that you could just like walk around?
That was the stupidest security theater I've ever seen. All it did was cause endless lines.
Well, they had them set super hot, so if you had like
on day one,
a penny in your pocket, it would go
on day one, and then after that, it was like I could have brought in an entire arsenal and they wouldn't have noticed. Like,
yeah. It was popping for like, you know.
I mean, look, I get that it's Philly, and Philly's a dangerous ass place, but
it wasn't as dangerous back then. I mean, that was like 2018,
but it was
2018,
2019. It's still Philly. I still saw crackhead shadow boxing. Is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, it's quintessential. But now it's like extra stabby.
He was practicing Wu-Tang shadow boxing. That's all it was. Anyway, before I get us in more trouble, that is the news.
Wow, there's not a lot of news.
It's a lot of big news, man. Some big news in there.
Big news. Anyway, Black
Quality
Rock
over quantity.
Shooter. We're there.
Yeah.
So anyway, fucking Smiley's still alive. They got him in some kind of like tank where he's like resuscitating. And there's like a lot of like we get to the end, so it's like plot twist fever. Like Dave, the army guy that's with them, like the colonel, they call him.
Yep.
Like apparently his wife was I always fuck this up. Menthios? Whatever the fuck they are. One of those girls.
Yep.
That makes guns out of thin air. Whatever.
Yeah.
And they had a daughter.
Some sort of Black Rock shooter.
And then Smiley found out, and he keeps trying to like, he wants to like have a kid with Methios, Helmethios, whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that works because he's just a weird like sex robot. But anyway, he thinks if he turns their daughter into whatever those are, that like she's gonna be the magic one, and he's gonna take over the world, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's a good villain plot.
Anyway, so there's that, and they finally got to the base of the like ridiculous like tower going to the fucking moon.
The nanite
because
moon
like
tower.
Yeah, like the bulk of the nanite shit is like up there, so they want to get it down and wipe out the rest of humanity, I guess. Anyway, and there was like
is not gonna end
there was
well.
a bunch of backstory about how they were created and everything. It's actually quite interesting. So good episode. Probably. Definitely the most important episode of the series thus far.
So it's a good time to catch up, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
they explain a lot of shit. Very good. Hyper weird, though.
Oh, Black Rock Shooter's always been weird. Stylish as hell, but very strange.
Hyper creepy, hyper weird.
Yep, that's Black Rock Shooter.
Anyway, what is next? Oh, Love After World Domination. Fudo. That's the dude.
The Mountain?
That's his name.
Okay.
Oh, shit, I forgot her name. It's like right in the tip of my tongue. I sure wrote it down.
That's what you get.
I know, like I literally like repeated it all day. But anyway, they're in her like dorm room because she's in the Gecko female dormitory.
Sure.
Because they have that because it's Japan, obviously. So anyway, they're studying and her family shows up and her dad's just like he was like a low level like Gecko like schmuck.
Yep.
And he's like super gung-ho for her to be like Gecko for life, but she wants to go to college with Fudo, and that was basically the episode.
So when does...
And she has like a younger sister that has a super sister complex, and she's like pissed off because she thinks that like she's making like Fudo's making her soft, and she's not as like hardcore as
So
she used to be.
I'm getting vibes here. So when does Kamen Rider show up and like Rider kick everybody into exploding? Just curious. It's very Kamen Rider the first.
Yeah, it happens like every couple episodes. There's like giant Sentai fight.
Nice.
Anyway, That's like 90% of it for me is like all the cool like Sentai callbacks.
Oh hell yeah.
Anyway, so that's still good. Trucking.
So Love After World Domination, especially if you like Sentai, you watch that shit.
Yeah, it's good. Still no like really through line plot. I just don't think it's that kind of show.
No.
But entertaining nonetheless. Sometimes those are the best actually. It's like fluff. I enjoy fluff.
It's perfectly fine.
Anyway,
It's like Nyarko-san.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What was that thing we watched yesterday?
Oh, Rising of the Shield Hero?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why can I never remember that? I can't
That
remember shit.
that arc is good, man. I like it. I like that Kyo is a total dickbag. Like worst villain. I like that they do the obvious thing with the Katana hero. That you could see coming a mile away, but it's good. It makes sense.
Yep.
The gang's back together. The oh my god. I can't remember her name either. Regardless, she's not a child anymore. She is now going back to an adult. Raftalia, yep.
Mm-hmm.
See, there you go. Thank you. It's now back. Everybody's
too
back.
many shows, too many fucking names to remember.
Yeah. Philo's back. Everybody's back. Everybody's got, and they even got the freaking the other assholes from the other world.
The
Lark and
Cardinal.
Lark and Glass and the Cardinal weapon holders.
Yeah, Cardinal weapon wielders, whatever.
Lark and Glass.
But now they have all four of them because
chick.
that chick was already with them.
Well, no.
Because he saved her.
Because I don't know where the hell the bunny went.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
I thought he was like a philo type thing.
No.
Oh no, you're right.
No, because he had the boat. He had the boat weapon.
So there's 5 of them?
I don't know that the blue-haired girl actually is a cardinal weapon holder. I'm not sure about that.
Huh. Well, I mean, there's only 4 cardinal directions, so.
Yeah, I don't know that she is. I don't think she is. Glass is.
There ain't no northeast motherfucker.
What is Glass's weapon? Is it fans? Is that the hell she's got?
Yeah, I think she's got the fans.
And what's her face has the fishing rod.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The chick with the fishing rod.
Yeah. No, I think the blue-haired one that's in their other group isn't, right? Oh no, then that would still be 5.
That's what I mean.
I don't know how any of this works. There's a lot of stuff going on in Shield Hero.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. I guess it doesn't matter. But,
I guess it doesn't matter much.
But yeah, now they're like, I imagine it's got to be close to the end of that arc because we're on like, new season starts in like.
Yeah,
weeks, so.
that's episode 9, I think, of this arc.
Yeah.
I think it started like a week later than
So
some of the other stuff.
They're getting towards the end.
Yeah,
At
maybe we'll
any
get Goblin
rate.
Slayer back. That would be nice.
That would be nice.
But yeah, Shield Hero, for this season, just the first arc with the turtle stuff is not great, but then it really picks up. It's really, the second part's really good.
Yeah, I'm sold.
So
I was happy. I didn't want it to.
yeah, I'm happy it
shit
didn't
out.
fall apart. I was a little worried.
Legend of Galactic Heroes we did not catch up on.
We have not caught up on Legend of Galactic Heroes yet. We will.
Oh, the Executioner and her way of life.
Yep.
They finally hit a point where that chick has gone back in time so many times, but like, that crazy like cult. They're like they're called the Fourth. They like basically like this is like it's like it's like medieval style, so it's like what is that called when there's like classes? Caste. It's a caste system.
Got you.
Right. So they declared themselves like the 4th caste. They're like, they're ungovernable apparently.
Yeah.
So
Those
anyway, this chick that's the
ingobernables.
head of it, she has this whole like revenge plan, and she basically figures out a way to get a like a fucking power as if she came from another world.
Sure.
And anyway, it's like super powerful. And so what's his face went back in time so many times, and like she would always have like she always kind of know what was going to happen because she'd been through it so many times, but like everything was different this time because that chick did crazy stuff.
Yeah, and had powers.
That's basically where they're at now. They gotta like, and her power is like fucking ridiculous because like if you kill her, she will just like come out of the corpse like a new one, like every time. It's creepy as fuck.
Oh, there's ways to deal with that. You've reached the plot twist portion of the show.
Yes.
It sounds like someone needs a Ninja Scroll Gemma-ing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
gonna cover you in like.
I'm gonna cover you in molten gold and drop you to the bottom of the ocean. Say you like that shit.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious how they're gonna like deal with that, because there's a lot of really interesting ways you could deal with somebody who just regenerates endlessly.
Like covering the molten gold,
And
dropping
what
them in
the
the bottom of the
fuck
ocean.
And what are you gonna do with what's her face? Because she's gone back in time so many times and like redone it. And the more you use those powers, like that's why they kill
It's just
them.
gonna end in a black hole.
No, but that's why they kill them, because like the more you use your powers, the more insane it makes you.
Yeah.
So it's like a catastrophe waiting to happen. But she can't be killed either because she just like automatically goes back in time.
Who the hell knows?
Anyway, I like
we'll
it.
find
So,
out.
like there's a lot of
It has some interesting mechanics, threads, twists.
I don't know.
I like
It's
that.
I kind of like that kind of stuff.
It's
so.
not just kind of your standard like, oh, this person's super strong. Like, it's like how Hero Academy has some interesting stuff. This is like one level up with more esoteric bullshit. So that's pretty cool.
There's a lot of shit going on.
I like that.
And adding that new
High
chicken-
strangeness, sir. It's high strangeness.
Yeah. Anyway, better than I thought, because like I thought it was gonna end up being a little generic, but then they really pulled it out. So that's pretty good. Legend of Galactic Heroes we didn't do. Anime I haven't caught up on yet.
Yep.
Oh, is there anything else?
I don't think so.
No, I think that's it.
I think that's it. I think it's time for you to ask me the question of the week.
Excellent. Okay, so I don't remember where my train of thought came from, but I was thinking about Robotech the other day for whatever reason. And it got me to thinking there's probably a bunch of stuff from that era that they could have given the Robotech treatment. And
Like
would've,
Voltron.
like would have really popped off over here. So I was like doing a little digging before. So
Voltron, Samurai Troopers is more straight up.
yeah.
Ronin Warriors.
Yeah.
But Voltron and
Beast King, Go Lion, if you will.
and Dairuga, right? If you include Car Voltron,
Yes.
and Robotech, and Most Piata, Genesis Climber, Most Piata, and Super Dimension Cavalry, Southern Cross.
Mm-hmm.
For Robotech. Yeah. What else could have popped off? What other
My first one
anime? Yeah, give
is
me
kind
one.
of obscure. Panzerworld Galleon.
Yes, absolutely. That's an
Because
excellent
that has,
one.
it's like Voltron plus He-Man, basically, because it's set on like a weird planet, fucking galaxy far, far away, whatever. And it's like got like a very like fantasy vibe,
Yep.
you know what I mean? But it's still a mecha show. It's got like crazy robots.
I mean, a lot of
They're
those
like
mecha
knights.
shows. No, that's a little too hardcore. Like Five Fem's a little too hardcore.
Yeah, it's hard because you got to really think, like, could they edit this? Could they rewrite this? So
I
it's
think
like,
Dunbine. I'm gonna go Dunbine on this one. That's gonna seem weird, but I think Dunbine could have worked. Medieval fantasy, weird bug monster,
do you
like
think,
mecha.
I'm trying to think if 7-year-old me would have been into that.
It's got the look. Like
Yeah.
Sectors was kind of big,
yeah, it's
right?
true.
It's got kind of that Sector thing going on.
It does.
And you could completely rewrite the fucking thing, right? Because that's what they did.
Yep.
So you can get the Tamino-ness the hell out of there. I think that would have worked. People from the real world that end up in medieval fantasy land with princesses and shit. Like, I think that could have worked.
Fucking Isekai forever.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's a good point. That is like old school Isekai.
Right.
Boiced and well.
Who would have known it would dominate?
Although it was a little more hardcore because like it's just where you went when you died.
Yeah,
not how you go to Boiced well. And then when you die in Boiced well, you go back to Boiced well. I don't know how any of this shit
No
works.
fucking idea.
I think in the later stuff they actually did resolve that, and it kind of is that way. You just keep getting reincarnated.
Yeah, basically. Okay, number 2 for me. This seems like an obvious one, and it was kind of late though. Like we're already kind of into the 90s.
Yeah, that's fine. I think up to the mid 90s is good.
Pat labor. That's like the perfect thing. Like it has no adult themes really.
No,
You know what I mean? It's got super wacky comedy.
No, yeah, I think you're right.
Because I think you could have just
The alligator episode.
Yeah, and you could have made that
Well,
America. You know what I mean?
You can't have the New Files episode with the Gestapo.
Yeah. Listen, we have to cut out all Nazi everything.
Yeah. No.
But I mean, they had to do that.
That's
stuff
a good
in
one.
Robotech and shit too.
That's a good one.
Not necessarily Nazis, but you know what I mean.
I'm gonna go non-mecha. I mean, I think this is an obvious one because it did well by the time they actually brought it over here. But Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sailor Moon. That's early 90s in Japan, I believe.
Yeah.
But it didn't come out here till late 90s. I think that could have worked if it came out as a Sunday morning cartoon instead of a Toonami thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Saturday morning cartoon. I think that would have worked. I think that could have worked for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't actually.
I'm trying to think of an 80s corollary. Like, what was the 80s Magic Girl show? But I just don't know enough about Magic Girl shows to tell you what it is.
Idea.
But if there is one, and there probably is, like an 80s Magic Girl show would have probably worked.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I suppose if you're going to go that way, like Urusei Yatsura, obviously, if it was given that treatment and done that way, probably would have worked.
Yeah, that was on my list too.
Because Rama kind of blew up over here, but Urusei Yatsura didn't. So
yeah, which is kind of
that's one that could have worked. All right, what else you got?
Oh wait, it was Pat Labor. Then it was shit. I'm drawing a blank.
Lotus War's too short.
What?
Lotus War was too short. Because
Lotus
that style
War was
would
on my
work,
list.
but it was too short.
Shit, what the hell was it? God, I wish I wasn't retarded.
Ninja Robot Tobakage. Because that would have worked.
I was thinking some of the Brave stuff like totally would have worked.
Oh, the Brave stuff would have all worked. I mean, that's just basically Transformers adjacent anyway. Like, any of that Brave stuff certainly would have worked. Most of the Brave stuff was more mid-90s, but, for sure. Like, Jay Decker and all that stuff. Oh, hell yeah. Mike Gain. Like,
oh, I remember now. Cobra.
Oh, yeah. Space Adventure Cobra.
Yeah, because, I mean, you could have easily edited that, rewrite
Oh,
it
absolutely.
a little bit. And you wouldn't even have to rewrite a lot, honestly. Like,
Absolutely.
I think that would have worked.
Yes, that would have worked. What else would man for like a kids cartoon, huh?
Yeah. Those that never did anything with Yatterman.
Yeah, Yatterman could have worked. Fist of the North Star. I mean, you could edit the hell out of that. You could make Fist of the North Star
I was
work.
like on the line about that one because I just don't know if you could like edit out.
It was the 80s, man.
Enough like super violence.
I think you could.
Oh,
It would fit in.
here's the other one I forgot too. Harlock.
Yeah, for sure. Any of that Leiji Matsumoto stuff. Some of it's a little slow, but I think it all would have worked. And you could edit it down, too.
That's what I mean. You can edit it down.
Yeah, you
like,
can combine
a little tighter.
episodes and such. Yeah, Harlock would have been
I've been
excellent.
super stoked on Harlock
Yeah.
back in the day. It's just got that cool, like, ridiculous space pirate aesthetic. Everybody loves
Oh,
that.
for sure. Like,
Everybody loves
as
that.
a Saturday morning cartoon or come home from school afternoon cartoon, fuck yes, man, that would have been great. I'd have been all about that.
You know what would not have worked? Lupin.
No, I thought about Lupin for a second. I'm like, no.
I thought about it, like, not extensively, but I was like, could you? Like, there's really, like, nothing
The
in
themes
there.
are just a little too adult.
Yeah, like, you just would
Not that it isn't wacky, but it's just, and there's not enough there to grab a kid's attention, I don't think.
Nah.
It needs some sort of zazz that it doesn't have. Not for that anyway.
It's true.
It gets my pee hard, but that's a whole other problem.
That's a whole
I gotta see a doctor.
animal.
God, I know we're forgetting so many.
Yeah, I
Like,
just did,
damn near
like,
any action anime, right? Like, any shonen anime that it wasn't brought over could have probably been brought over and done well.
Oh, the original run of...
Especially, with a rewrite.
The original run of Dragon Quest would have absolutely killed.
Yep.
I think that's 90s, but still.
It's late 80s or early 90s. Yeah.
Oh, you know what would have been cool? I don't know if this would have played in the 80s, but what the fuck is that called? Shinjuku Private Eyes. City Hunter.
City Hunter could have worked.
I mean, it's like...
It's probably a little too adult.
Yeah, like, that might have been like an afternoon
I'm thinking Zodiac
show.
Warriors.
Did they do that?
I don't remember it coming out that early. It came out in the 90s. It was another one of those ones, but I think
Oh, yeah.
I think that shit was out earlier.
Yeah. No, I'm with
But
you.
that is just kind of picking nits. Like, hey, if you brought it over earlier and ran it in the morning for kids, like, it would have worked.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, you could do a whole new list for, like, the afternoon,
Yeah, pretty much any shonen or mecha show that isn't too adult. Like, Gundam wouldn't have worked. Like, Gundam Wing was the right thing, right? Like, and G Gundam were the right ones to introduce kids to Gundam. Like,
Yeah.
regular Gundam wouldn't have really worked.
Nah, like, it would never hold, like, kids' attention. Not, like,
Ooh,
when I was a kid.
I got one. Be Invoked. Oh, wait. No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Absolutely not.
I don't know if that would play. Cutting people's heads off. And
Yeah, I don't think that
there's
would work.
like nothing more savage than that.
I thought about Votoms for a minute. Votoms has potential. Votoms could work.
I thought about that one too.
It's a little military, but standards were a little different back then. You could have lasered it up and G.I. Joe'd it up a bit. I think that could have worked. I think you could make Votoms, and Votoms has a lot of episodes. I don't know. it's not perfect. I don't know that it would have taken off, but I think it could have worked. It's got to be something with like a lot of wacky, colorful characters. And then has some, vanilla and Kokona.
Yeah, it has comic relief.
And Goto. Goto, is that the other guy?
Yeah, Goto.
That guy's awesome.
Gotta have a Goto.
So it could work. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I know if I had a list, I would just be kicking myself because there's probably 100 shows that.
Oh yeah, definitely
could have gotten that treatment. What's the worst? What show would have worked the least? Besides, like hentai or something absolutely ludicrous, something that was like a long running show that they could have at least done. Like, what would be the worst from the 80s? Like, what show would have worked the least?
Something you just can't.
Because even that original JoJo's OVA from the late 90s would have worked. Like, you could make JoJo's work because it's just wacky.
Yeah, I mean, plus that art style.
Would it be like Slayers? Because that almost works, but it's just so.
Oh yeah, or like Those Who Hunt Elves.
Those Who Hunt Elves, yeah.
Because it's like you.
It's just a little too etchy.
Yeah, like a lot of fan service. I don't think you can get away with that.
Probably, and then it's gonna lose a lot of its luster.
Yeah, because I mean, both those shows were basically just etchy fan service.
Probably, the thinky mecha shows would not have done well.
No, not at all.
Like
fucking,
Ideon.
Like Leisner and shit.
Leisner, yeah.
Leisner is like so emo. Like it was hard to get through because it's just like.
Oh, would not have done well, I don't think, even though it's got some of the elements. Dogram.
No, not at all.
Fang of the
Dogram
Sun,
is like so
Dogram.
procedural.
Yeah, I don't think that would work
it's
at
just
all.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, because Votom's a little more fantastical, which is why I think it could work. And it's got some. He goes to interesting places. It's got interesting characters.
Yeah.
Dogram, man, I don't think that would work. I'm with you, Leisner. Leisner would not have worked.
No.
Yeah, those thinky kind of mecha shows. Elgheim is the one that I'm not so sure about.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not so sure. It's got those fantastical freaking
it's got those
Nagano
awesome
designs.
Yes, it's got anything with Nagano designs is like over the top.
Oh, the other one. See, I'm just on Tomino at the moment, but oh my god, Zabungle could have worked.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Zabungle could have worked because that has wacky characters. It's a little silly. It's got interesting designs.
Yeah, if you kind of rewrote it.
Oh yeah, and again, that's what we're talking about, right? Like, we're not talking about as is. We're not talking about they bring it over, translated, and it's kind of accurate. No. We're talking about complete rewrite and even re-edit for the American audience, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. There's enough pieces. You could take the pieces of. That's why I said Dumbine. Dumbine as is, no chance.
Yeah.
No chance. But if you rewrote that entirely, oh yeah, it's got the bones. You could make it work. Pedro Gallant, though, I think you hit up. I think that is number one.
That was the one that popped into my head.
I think that is number one.
Because it has like basically the elements of like every other thing they brought over.
Very cool.
Jammed in one.
Yeah,
thing.
We got to rewatch that, man. I
watched it once years ago.
I gotta see if it's available. I'll buy it.
It's super hard to find. It might not be now, but it was back then.
Yeah, I think it's streaming on High Dive.
Because I had to scour the interwebs. Yeah, it is because it's popped up.
Either High Dive or Retro Crush. So I'll see. But if Sentai Works somebody has released it, I definitely want to pick it up.
Yeah, no, it's super good. I want to rewatch it. There's a bunch of OVAs too. It's got like it's so classic.
It's good stuff. Anyway,
we can just keep going on forever, but. We got to get down those last 4 episodes.
Talk about GENOCYBER.
So
when we
weird as fuck.
Where we last left off, GENOCYBER, the titular character, Elaine, that's the girl's name.
I think so.
Had wiped Hong Kong off the face of the earth because she was mad because they, some people that were not the government of Hong Kong, were not in any way related necessarily to Hong Kong, but she just happened to be in Hong Kong, killed her little friend. So she wiped the entire place off the earth. She's a child throwing a tantrum.
She is like a feral,
yeah, she's a feral little girl. So there's some tragedy there. It's way over the top. So the second episode, which is I said this earlier, but these are basically it's 2 OVAs that they just split into 2 episodes apiece.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, because there's 2 episodes that are like indeterminate amount of years, but it looks like maybe 10 years-ish, 5 to 10 years after that first one.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 episodes are 100 years afterwards, and they were like, everything's completely different. So we'll talk about that because that gets real fucking weird. So this one, this arc, right? So the episode starts off, episode 2, like this random nation, Carbamia, basically, like some random like African, Southeast Asian, ex-Soviet, whatever, Middle Eastern nation that's at war with a bunch of other countries, it seems, and it's hard to get like helicopters or anything there because like I guess the sand is magnetic and it fucks with all the radar and everything else.
It's got Minovsky particles.
Yeah, pretty much. So like eventually some helicopters do get there. They explain this other stuff later, but they get there. The episode starts off with like kids just getting shot by like helicopter-sized rounds.
Yeah, like anti-tank rounds.
Yeah,
and
it's
like juiced.
Just ridiculous. Like it is violence for violence's sake, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And it serves the plot. I will say this: like the dead children, kind of their ghost haunt the whole episode psychically.
Yeah.
Whether that's actually the vengeance of the dead children or it's just Elaine kind of
freaking
out and projecting. Who the hell knows? There's also a very I don't even know what it is, like a Frankenstein's monster / Top Gun / whatever, like vibe with the we're gonna create the ultimate pilot and it's this weird psychic monster. Like, yeah, we juiced up this psychic person and then kind of disassembled them and fused them into this suit. I don't even know what's left of them in there.
That'll end well, I'm sure.
Yeah, and they send it out after GENOCYBER, because after GENOCYBER's friends get killed once again, it goes fucking ballistic and it's starting to blow up like fucking cities all over the place.
Tear.
I mean, it blows up like it's wiped out London. It's wiping out cities left and right.
Take that, New York.
So they have this, the U.S. military, and they have this giant, double-decked aircraft carrier, like Trimarine or Bimarine, whatever
the hell.
Trimaram, some ridiculous super giant future aircraft carrier, and they get the perfect psychic pilot thing, and he takes off, and like someone is saving Elaine in like this little biplane, and the psychic monster guy like shoots up the biplane with her in it. They're like, why the hell did they shoot up the civilian plane? Oh my God, so evil. He's just like, no, the power, I got to destroy this thing. Because he, sensed how ridiculously powerful Elaine is. So anyway, Elaine gets there, and then there's this whole subplot with like I think she's the ship's like corpsman or whatever. Nurse, corpsman, doctor, whatever. Or psychologist, I don't know. She takes in Elaine, Elaine looks like her dead daughter, so there's this weird bonding thing, and like Elaine only talks to her psychically because she's a mute, so she doesn't talk. But then shit gets real fucking wild because like the psychic monster man like busts loose, and freaking Elaine like is there, and she turns into GENOCYBER, but then her arm gets infected, so she has to freaking cut her own arm off. And destroy the body of the thing, but then of course it's living on in the arm, and eventually the arm takes over the whole goddamn aircraft carrier and turns into a giant weird. It fuses like the entire crew to it. It's a giant like meat aircraft carrier. It's all very 40K.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, pre-40K, so probably stolen the other way around. But so it's a giant floating meat aircraft carrier.
Everybody likes that.
It's really fucking weird, man. And of course, GENOCYBER has to blow everything up at the end because that's what GENOCYBER does.
Pretty much.
That's basically the plot. There's some other stuff in there
indiscriminate violence
with some of the crew and other stuff, but that's the plot. Is not that complicated. I mean, the plot is almost more about the psychologist girl and Elaine. It's kind of 50-50, and the scientist guy who created the Frankenstein monster, psyker, super pilot, whatever.
Oh yeah. And the dead kid's haunting her.
He just becomes straight up a supervillain. Yeah, and the dead kids are everywhere haunting everybody, like causing bad things to happen. And sometimes they appear as just regular looking kid ghosts. Sometimes they appear as like missing the tops of their heads kid ghosts. So
yeah,
it's very creepy. I will give them credit there. Anyway, that's that arc. And then it just inexplicably jumps 100 years.
And everything's like super crazy.
And they'd apparently been fighting GENOCYBER for like 80 years before like shooting her down or taking her out enough.
They kind of just bury her.
Yeah, and she's just like a torso at that point because she'd gotten so beaten up by like, fighting them for 80 freaking years.
Fighting an entire world's army.
And you get the
for 80
impression that
years.
she's basically wiped out every major population center except this one city.
Yeah, it's this one like
It's Ark City or whatever.
like walled city in the middle of the desert.
And she's of course buried below it. Now there's a cult there, and there's elitist assholes, very like Hunger Games, like these elitist assholes living up above, persecuting the poor people, and all these rich people having them do all this stuff for sport. So anyway, there's a side plot, and this is the main characters of this aren't even Elaine. Oh, and Diana, her sister that she killed in the first episode, is back in psychic ghost form.
Yeah,
for some reason
she's like a Jedi ghost.
Whatever. It just go with it. This is like the second half of the episode. The first half of the episode, or the first episode, I should say, first half of the OVA, is a couple, and you're not sure if they're like brother and sister at first, but it's a couple, so don't get freaked out when certain scenes happen, like I did. Well, it is Japan, so I guess it wouldn't be that unexpected.
You can't do that; it's illegal.
You can't. Oh, sorry. There's a 4chan meme in there. Anyway, the girl has like psychic powers, but she like can't see. Her eyes are all screwed up.
She sees psychically.
Yeah, so he's bringing her to like the city to get her eyes fixed because that's the only place where people could possibly do it because they're hoarding all the technology. It's all elitist pricks. But then they're outsiders, so he gets sucked into this like rich people game, and he does this trick thing where he throws knives. At his girlfriend, but doesn't hit her, carnival style. But then I don't know, he gets stuck to this thing, and like he has to blindfold throw them, and he throws them, and it's great. And then he's blindfolded again, and then they replace whatever was there with an actual person that is in the position to get hit with the with the knives where he threw them last. So he gets duped, and then they're persecuting him, and there's this whole subplot where the cops are evil as hell, and it's a weird corruption story. And then, of course, at some point, GENOCYBER like kind of summons them.
Yeah, it's like all that shit, and then like they wake up GENOCYBER, and it's
there's
just
like a cult,
GENOCYBER doing stuff again.
A cult built up around GENOCYBER, like GENOCYBER is God, and they get pegged as terrorists because like there are terrorists in the city. I mean, freedom fighters really, but one man's terrorist, no man's freedom fighter. Yeah, and then it kind of just you get the climax from there where I bet you could guess what happens. Like a lot of things explode, orbital platforms get blown up.
Yes, they do.
GENOCYBER does a lot of work, and the ending is ambiguous as fuck.
Pretty much.
Oh, but does manage to actually create one thing and completely save, like the girl who actually gets killed at some point and the guy. So spoilers on that, but it's honestly not that important. It's very strange.
Does not matter.
The end is just very strange. It goes like full allegory, and you're like, oh, okay. I guess that's what we're doing now. So, anyway, I'll stop rambling now because I've kind of laid out the insanity that is GENOCYBER. What do you think? I'm not even asking you what you like, what you didn't like. What'd you think?
It's a cool idea. It's a lot of crazy shit stuck together.
It's a bag of cool ideas.
It is.
I just don't know that they fit together.
It is a big old sack of cool ideas.
You know what it is? It's a sack of cool ideas. I think they do fit together. They are a puzzle that could fit together.
There's a lot of
but they're like...
It's a sack of cool ideas I'm going to steal and write something else.
Well, sure. But it's a puzzle that does fit together, but it's like a child that went in there and just like, no, this piece is close enough. It just jams it together. Even though it doesn't actually fit. Like, that's kind of what GENOCYBER feels like to me.
I mean, designs are cool. Basic idea is super cool.
Maybe if they had like a full run instead of like one volume of a manga.
It needs 13 episodes.
Yeah, well,
because like a lot of that like jumping
that.
ahead with
it needs a lot more than that.
I guess. I'm just saying,
it does.
If you gave it 13 episodes
to make that jump. Okay, the jump from episode 1 to episode 2 and 3. Yeah, 13 episodes you can get there.
Yeah, that
jump to episode 4 and 5. I think that's like a 100-episode shonen show.
Yeah, all by itself, right?
Or at least a 50-60 episode shonen show where like it only gets there at the very end, and that's the craziness at the very end.
Yeah,
I think that could work. But it certainly did not have enough time to flesh out all its crazy ideas. It kind of just grab bag threw him at the fucking wall.
Yeah, I think that guy had grandiose plans, and then.
But I will say that's one thing I like about these old OVAs and short series is they do just throw a bunch of crazy shit in the wall, and it's entertaining. And if it doesn't really make a lot of sense or it doesn't leave a lasting impression, oh well. whatever. I only gave up a couple hours of my life. You know, I didn't.
It does leave
I didn't
lasting
invest like
impression.
100 episodes of a series. You know?
I mean, it's an ultra classic just because of its like absurd violence.
well, it really is absurd. Although it's interesting. It never gets toned down, but it gets used a lot less.
No, I was going to mention
In the
that,
last couple
actually. They do a very good job
Last four
of not
episodes.
overdoing it.
Yeah, so
Like,
rather
there's
than
literally like only maybe one fight scene per episode. You know what I mean?
and a lot of shows where I've seen this, because there's always a tendency, it seems, to like, you know, shock and awe you early and then kind of peter out a little bit on things like super violence. A lot of them, it just gets less. The violence gets less gory. It gets less detailed. It'll happen just as often.
Yeah.
I think this was smarter in that it is just as visceral. It's just as gory, but they save it and they don't use it as much.
I find it way more memorable.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
Some of those scenes are so ridiculous. Like the one where like she rips the guy's skull and his spine out of his body. Like that is
From like grabs him by like the forehead and does
Yeah,
that, or like the
just
jaw,
rips it out.
the top jaw. It was
I
ridiculous.
mean, that's fucking metal. Like you'll never forget that. That's just like perfect.
No, pretty sure if you grabbed a human in that place and pulled, you wouldn't pull the whole spine out. But whatever.
pretty sure you just
Very
pick-
Predator.
I'm pretty sure you just pick them up by their head, but whatever.
Someone watched Predator 2 and was into it, right?
Right.
Even though, was this before or after? No, this was after Predator 2. So
I think
someone
so,
watched
yeah.
Predator 2 and was into it
Friggin' ridiculous though.
because this was like the mid 90s.
But yeah, it's worth a watch just for that stuff because it's so ridiculous and over the top.
And just the cool ideas, right? Like it's a cauldron of crazy fucking
And
ideas.
GENOCYBER has one of those awesome designs. Like,
Oh, and the music's cool,
so
too.
many people rip that off.
It's got classic music that they used to run over promos for, I think, Central Park. I think it was Central Park Media. Although it could have been Jenny On and it could have been ADV. I don't remember.
I'm almost positive this was in the grab bag of Central Park Media shit back in the day.
I think it was.
Because they grabbed all the super edgy stuff, as they should have. I mean,
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, it's I give it a recommend, man. I give it a
oh
watch.
hell yes, it's like one of those. I don't know if it's the like quintessential super violent like 90s anime, but it's in the top 5 easily.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you want a nice coherent plot and something that has like good, actually great animation and some violence in it and is, you know, a good balance, like go watch Area Zero, right? Like
yeah.
that was really good. Tight story, it was excellent. If you want just the bug nuts crazy bullshit with like hyper violence, like, and you know, an edge so sharp it'll fucking cut you from your freaking couch,
Right.
you watch fucking GENOCYBER, like,
Yeah.
for sure.
You'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't at least see it once.
If you haven't seen it now, you've already disserviced yourself. So instead, you should service yourself.
You are currently being disserviced.
That's right.
At any rate.
Yeah, that's. I don't have many other thoughts. I mean, the animation's good. They rely less on the first episode had some of those weird like almost live action background tricks going on.
Yes.
And tracing kind of stuff, and they do that a lot less in the last 4 episodes.
Yeah.
The animation quality does stay consistent. The designs stay consistent. There's no like
I would love to see it cleaned up.
weird stuff.
Like I could really only find a rough copy of it because of course it's not
yeah,
streaming
480p.
anywhere.
You know.
But yeah, I would love to see a Blu-ray like cleanup of it.
Yeah. All
It's
these things.
it's a kind
man.
of short. A lot of times they do those with OVAs because they're
Yeah.
short and they know they'll make their money back.
Well, plus a lot of them they were still done on film, I think, instead of on tape.
Yeah, so it's way
Which is what
easier.
kills things like Zeta Gundam. That's why Zeta Gundam still doesn't look that good because I'm pretty sure it was done on tape.
Fucking tape.
And it's just tough, man.
What a terrible idea tape was, right?
Yeah.
It just did not last, man.
Yeah.
I still got I have some of my parents' old records that still work perfectly.
You could store a hell of a lot of data.
No one has tapes.
You could store a hell of a lot of data in a very small spot. It just was. It was susceptible to magnets. It was susceptible to deterioration in general, and it just didn't last.
No, and it stretches out.
Oh yeah. Anybody who used to watch stuff on VHS always remembers like scan lines.
Wow,
like-
wow, wow. Like,
yeah, stuff getting a little weird sometimes if it was a used up tape. Like, yeah, stuff that was done on film is much easier because they can just, as long as it still exists, much better clean up. Like something like Original Gundam looks phenomenal when they clean it up, right?
Yep.
I mean, the animation quality is not as good as something like Zeta, let's say, right? It's more primitive, but it can clean up way better
It's true.
because they use film. So yeah.
I've said this 1,000 times, but the fucking Original Gundam movies.
Oh God,
Just
yeah, they look
so
great.
sexy.
They look
Like
great.
they were drawn yesterday.
I'll make
right?
another recommendation again. If you want to get into Gundam, just buy the Gundam movie trilogy. Just buy it. Just buy it and watch it, man. It's good shit. Get you ready for Kukuru's Dones Island, baby.
Isn't that out in theaters right now?
Yeah, it opened at number 3.
I'm stoked.
I didn't put it in the news because there wasn't too much going on.
That
It didn't like blow records or anything. It did all right, but it wasn't doing like Hathaway numbers. But it is more niche, so.
Oh, we're gonna have to wait so long. I'm bummed.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're bringing stuff over faster now, though.
I don't know. Hathaway came out immediately. I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on with Dones Island.
So I'd be pretty stoked if they just sent it right over.
Yeah, I'm about it.
Anyway, that's about it for today.
Yeah, man. Peace.
You guys have a sexy week.
Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.